Hey, it's Aaron. I just got back from the Hazang Loop, but by car, not motorbike. I know not the usual way, but it's actually surprised me. So in this video, I'll show you what it's like doing the loop on 4 wheels. Let's hit the road and stay tuned for my final thoughts. This tour was brought to you by Best Bride Travel. So if you're interested after watching, just know that we offer this experience too. And we are glad to help you have an amazing trip of your own. On 25th March, we took a sleeper bus from Hanoi to Hazang City. It's generally recommended to stay in Hazang the night before your loop adventure to ensure you are well rested. Ours left quite late, around 10 p.m, so by the time we arrived, it was nearly 4 a.m. on the next morning. Personally, I suggest catching the 5 p.m. bus because it will get you to Hazang City around midnight.
Ring bell, sao mùi không có cái bell nào ở đây cả? Được hả?
Good morning everyone, it's the first day of the adventure. I started the morning slow with a warm bowl of pho, and soon after our tour guide arrived. We began our journey at 8:30, traveling from Hazang City to Dong Van Ancient Town, covering a distance of around 140 kilometers. Our first stop that day was midway through the Bắc Sum Pass. We're supposed to get a sweeping views of hills, ride terraces, and local households. Later on, we visited Quản Bạ Heaven Gate and the Twin Hills, where we climbed the stairs to the observation deck to enjoy the breathtaking view from above. Wow. From up there, the view was honestly amazing. At one point, it reminded me of the landscape we saw in Ninh Bình, but this one was even better. So that is the Twin Hills. Well, that wasn't all of our morning. After getting to the Heaven Gate, our guide took a little detour to a local spot where he claimed that only his car could reach.
Vâng. Trồng cho nhiều quả cà chua anh. Quả cây cà chua.
I think it's like really chill. At first, I didn't expect much from this. We assumed that the trip was just all about ride terraces, mountains, and winding roads. But in the end, catching a glimpse of the local life just made me feel unexpectedly peaceful and excited. Then our guide took us to other spots where we tried a swing and enjoyed some drinks while taking in the sceneries. Afterward, we headed out for lunch. Lunch wrapped up, and with our bellies full, we made our way to Thammaslof, one with the most impressive twisty road. I think it was the most beautiful view of the day. I'd never seen anything like it. The way houses, rice fields, trees, and mountains all just came together. To me, it was a perfect mix of human life and nature. Our guide said if you come between August and October, the hills are covered in golden rice paddies. We went in late March, so it looked a bit bare, but honestly, it didn't make it any less stunning. The scenery was still very beautiful, just so you know. For the final stop, we visited the Hamon King's Palace, which used to be the residential area of the leader of the whole region. As you can see, their architecture blends Hmong style with ancient Chinese and French colonial influences, quite unique. It is also super cool here. Everything is made from wood and stone, and there are tons of trees around. Definitely a must visit, especially after a long journey through the mountains. So throughout the day, we went to the Paksum Pass. It is a part of the Hazang Loop, and reached the Sky Gate, which is the Gomchoi, and the Twin Hills, I suppose what it's supposed to say. Yeah, and all was really fantastic and like filled with greenery, mountains, and the weather make it even more beautiful. And tomorrow we will get to Nyongui Rivers, which is really beautiful as well. I have seen it in several images online, and yeah, I really look forward to seeing it because it's really beautiful. So hope you guys stay tuned and wait for our experience tomorrow, and I will be back and update with you guys more. Well, that wasn't the end of day one. The lively atmospheres in Dongwon ancient town is absolutely something you will not want to skip. Morning, day 2. We were heading deeper into the northern frontier, right next to China. Afterward, we'll loop back south and chill for the night in Zuza village. Our first stop was a local house tucked tied up in the mountains, a quiet spot that our guide knew personally.
From here, we can see the road on the other side.
Okay.
There's a fence, but it's a bit not so clear, so it's harder to see
Oh, yeah,
the road and the fence. But the border between the two countries from the river, from the Burns, well, they build a fence up there. They burn all the grass and the tree in between. That's easy for them to check for persons.
So we have just like see the border of Vietnam and China. It's like pretty far. I can't see anything. Once again, the view here is fantastic, and I'll have take some photo and I have like record some videos, but I'm sure it in the video will not as beautiful as here as in reality. However, a bit later, our guide took us to another spot nearby and we actually saw the borderline. Yep, it's right there.
Hello Đức Anh.
Hello.
Hiking.
So we are hiking on the sky path to the Dead Stone, and yeah, it's quite sunny today, a bit hot, and the street is tilted, so I don't have anything to say except that I am quite excited. But the sceneries is cool. From here you can see below there are like mountains and mountains, layers of mountain and streets.
So,
Yeah, that is crazy.
so see you again at the top. Still have a long way to go.
Not always the case.
So this is the way up to the Dead Stone, and yeah. If you got the guts, the view up top is even better. But our guide said you'll need some experience and good shoes. With what I had on and zero skill, I was happy to stay put. Maybe next time I'll give it a shot. So down here is the Nha Quế River, and actually we didn't went the boat ride to the Nha Quế River because there are some constructions being done along the way. So the guy suggested us to go here and take the panoramic views of it a little bit. So from this views, as you can see, the water is crazily blue and the mountains from both sides are dramatic. So I have been to some similar landscape like this before. For example, is Ninh Bình, the Tam Cốc in Ninh Bình, but this is crazier. It is much more dramatic. The view was amazing, but I do wish I had seen it closer. So if you are on a trip, remember to ask your driver or anyone in charge about whether to have a quick trip to Nha Quế River. Then we headed to Melva for lunch, but it felt like our guide took another detour, leading us through a local neighborhood with plenty to see. After lunch, we hit some awesome spots, one with a view of the M-shaped turn and another overlooking Lũng Hồ Valley. Honestly, day 2 was full of highlights, but these two absolutely stole the show. And that was it for day 2. In my opinion, the deeper I got into this adventure, the better the scenery became, way more striking than day 1. It just kept getting more and more exotic. We ended the day at Zuzao Waterfall, a popular spot where travelers swim and cool off. The vibe was great and it's easy to see why backpackers love it.
So after 2 days climbing on the mountain, doing something dry and sunny, finally there is some water in this video, and yeah, look at this. It's crystal clear and really cool, but I'm too shy to swim, so like it's a bit crowded here, so we just let our legs cool down a little bit after like days of climbing and walking and hiking. Yeah, that's it. And you guys can see the waterfall, the scenery here. The scenery here is fantastic. Hello,
Hello.
what do you think about our trip so far?
Anh mệt. Không nghĩ đây.
No, he's like keep complaining about being exhausted, but I think it's great because yeah, even though it's like a bit exhausted because the weather is kind of hard, but the scenery here is like really beautiful and it's really worth it, you know, so far. And yesterday we went through the Paksum Pass. We went up the Hazang Loop, and there are many like fantastic views. This landscape is surreal, so yeah, it's totally worth it. And it's worth like the effort you put in walking, sitting on the car, and climbing and all of it. Yeah.
That night, we stayed at Zuza Panorama, and like the lively vibe in Dongvan, this place was super chill and peaceful.
Sao?
On the last day, we had a slow morning and left a bit later, around 9. Our route took us from Zuza back to Hazang City, finishing the loop. The distance was shorter than previous days, so we had plenty of time to stop and explore. From the homestay, we headed back up to the main road we took on day 2, exploring Nậm Lang Canyon and revisiting Lũng Hồ Valley. The views were already great. But then, our guide took us down a local path and the scenery just got even better. It was like the most surreal things I had ever seen since the start of the trip. Unlike day 2, which was all about the peaceful and remote areas, everything on day 3 felt way more lively and busy as we got closer to Hazang City. However, both were enjoyable in their own way. As vibrant as it was, our guide still managed to take us to a few secluded spots. I'd say that these last 2 stops were the real highlight of the day, and the perfect way to wrap up our trip. Afterward, we had lunch, headed back to Hazang City, and officially ended the journey. It really felt complete. Thank you so much for sticking around. Now there are a few quick thoughts if you're thinking about doing the Louvre by car. Honestly, it was incredible. Whether by bike or car, the views are just next level. At first, I had doubts about taking a car because I thought it might feel too limiting, but it's turned out great. We stopped at scenic spots and tiny villages I didn't even think a car could reach. Riding in the car felt like a proper road trip. Our guide shared tons of stories along the way, much more than you would hear on a motorbike where conversation is nearly impossible. So to me, taking a car ended up being the perfect way to see the Louvre. I totally got no regret. And that is the end of our video. If you have any experience in Vietnam, please feel free to share with us. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more video.